Sports Center.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Kevin Plowcha. Joining me is Casey Earlwine. Casey, it was a busy week of Colonial Sports, but no busier day than tonight. And actually, just a few minutes ago, the men's basketball team was in action tonight, and they just wrapped up their game just a little bit ago.
Yeah, it was quite a wild game. It was against local rivals Point Park Pioneers. Everyone knows Point Park, around there, downtown. And it was a big game for the Colonials. And it was wild. Point Park is not even the NCAA, so people expecting to blow up, but we'll see what happens here. The last time these two teams played against each other was 3 years ago, and no one from that Robert Morris roster is in the game now. And so we're just going to go right on here. Let's see what exactly went down at the UPMC Event Center as the game just ended a little bit ago. And it was quite the wild game as we start here at the tip-off. Point Park against Robert Morris. Hastings wins the tip-off. Here we go underway. Now, Robert Morris starts up big. And this is full Garris behind the back. No look to Hastings. Hastings up, smokes it, gets his own rebound, dribbles, smokes it again. Rebound, Chris Ford almost gets it. Now he gets a steal here, puts it, and finally, Hastings gets it. Almost unethical basketball right there. No idea what some people were watching. Now here, defensive stop there by Point Park. They're up on the Colonials by 4. Kicks it out to the 3. That one's good. Point Park's up 7 points on the Colonials as they go close to the end of the first half. We're at the end of the first half here. It's another 3-pointer. That one's good. 5-point lead for the Point Park Pioneers as we end the first half. Moving on to the second half now. Point Park still up as they come down the court. Pull up 3. That one's good too. Unbelievable scenes at the UPMC Event Center. Point Park up 10 on the local rivals. What was everyone watching now? Here we go. Robert Morris back in the game. Down 1. Driving in is Alfredo. He kicks it out to Hastings. Hastings, no one around him, and that was for a good reason. That one was no good. Stephon Walker with the rebound. Jackson last for 3. That one falls. The defensive player gets a big 3 to put the Colonials up in the second half of the second half. And now Point Park has it here again. They look for a pick and roll, but does not actually do the pick and roll. And they keep going here now. Out. Thinks about the 3, doesn't pull it. Stolen by Marquise Hastings. What a big day. TJ Wainwright coming down on the fast break. Is he going to pass? Not a chance. He strolls right on in for the 2. Colonials, they're up 5 now with 6:43 left. TJ Wainwright, 17 points in this game. You can see how hyped he was. He thinks about passing Wainwright. Now it's back out to Alfredo. Alfredo kicks it out to Hastings. Can he get it this time? Yes, he can. He puts down the 3 and puts down the Pioneers. Colonials win 66-56 in a wild game and against a team not even the NCAA.
The Colonials survived the Pioneers, and a question we found ourselves asking for most of the game was, what was going on? Thankfully, we're going to get some answers, as we've got Amir Keesley live from the Event Center to help us break down this game. Amir, you got to give us your overall thoughts on this game.
Thank you, Kevin. Tonight, the Colonials took down the Point Park Pioneers 66-56 at home. Marquise Hastings had very clutch plays down the stretch with a slam dunk and a dagger 3-pointer to close the game. He also had a double-double along with Stephon Walker. Stephon Walker had 14 points and 16 rebounds, and Hastings had 20 points and 14 rebounds. TJ Wainwright also took the second half by storm as he dropped 17 points in the game. TJ Wainwright started off a little bit slow, but he improved his play into the second half, and he created a factor that led the Colonials to the win. Hastings also had some clutch plays that also led the Colonials to the win as well. The Colonials will be taking on the Towson Tigers Sunday at 7 p.m. And going down the road there, Andy Toole says that the team has a lot to work on before they head down there and take on the Tigers. And hopefully they can pull out the win when they head down to Towson on Sunday.
Thank you so much, Amir.
Take it back to Kevin.
Thanks so much, Amir. Definitely a crazy game. Now, it did not help that the Colonials didn't have Justice Williams or Josh Corbin available tonight, but Casey, Colonials able to survive, and hopefully they'll be able to figure things out in the future. Now, just a few days before tonight's win, the men's team traveled to Ohio for their season opener at Xavier. Cameron Macariola has more from Cincinnati, including some highlights and quotes from head coach Andy Toole.
The Robert Morris men's basketball team 2023-24 season kicked off Monday night as they traveled out to Cincinnati to take on Xavier. Coming into the season, Xavier received 8 votes but found themselves just outside the top 25 following their Sweet 16 appearance and in a similar position as the Colonials, losing their top scorer. The hostile environment was ready to see their team return to the court and blow the roof off the freshly renovated Cintas Center. The Colonials would start their season hot and shut down the rowdy Xavier students as they would quickly jump to a 9-5 lead, much in part to transfer Justice Williams as he would score the first 8 points for the Colonials. The Colonials could not keep the lid on though as they missed many chances to extend the lead, and Xavier would capitalize on the missed shots and find themselves even with the Colonials and would not look back. The two teams would trade blows, with Xavier landing more throughout the first half. But the highlight of the night came when Stephon Walker hit a monster dunk to send the Colonials into halftime only trailing by 6. In the second half, the Colonials' offense would struggle, going 8 for 29 from field goal and 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. While on the other side, Desmond Claude would pull the Musketeers away with his 25-point performance. Despite Xavier taking this game, there's a lot to be excited about with this Robert Morris team. Marquise Hastings would finish the night with a double-double, and Justice Williams would lead the team with 21 points. Coach Andy Toole spoke about their performances and impact on the team.
They did a lot of good stuff. It's got to be, again, it's the consistency, right? Like, you got to be able to do it day in and day out, night in and night out. Sometimes there's going to be opportunity for you to get downhill and make some of the plays he made. Other games we might see some different coverages, and we got to be able to adjust and adapt at that point in time too. But, he did a lot of really good things, and, a lot of guys did good stuff. It's just, again, hard opponent to be able to do it for 40 minutes against.
The team returns to the UPMC Event Center on Thursday night as Point Park takes the quick trip on 376 to face the Colonials.
Thank you so much, Cam, for that in-depth look from the Cintas Center. Casey, I've got 2 things to say. One, that Stephon Walker dunk was insane, and you may see it later on Top 5 Plays. And 2, the Colonials, it was great to see them show fight against a Power 6 school, especially a school from the Big East. Showed a lot more fight there than they did tonight against Point Park.
Yeah, Andy Toole is probably much happier with that game despite being lost than what he saw tonight against Point Park. Even if tonight against Point Park they were missing their arguably 2 best players, Justice Williams and Josh Corbin, the fight showed in that first game compared to this one much different.
Absolutely. Now we're going to move on to women's basketball as they open their season also on Monday night. They traveled to Loretto, PA as they took on the St. Francis Red Flash. The Colonials beat St. Francis in last year's season opener and were looking to do the same here. And they would. They win 61-50, a much higher scoring game than last year's. Both Alejandra Mastral and Simone Morris finished with 13 points. Danielle Vuletic nearly finished with a double-double. The Colonials finished 16 of 20 from the free throw line. Caitlin Maxwell's 18 points and 7 for 14 shooting. Not enough for the Red Flash.
Now, when we come back, one of the Robert Morris teams got one of the biggest upsets of the entire Horizon League season, and we look at a championship rematch. Stay tuned here on Colonial Sports Center.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
Where are they? Shouldn't they be here by now?
Someone's gotta be here, guys. Like, for real.
Oh my God, Nate! Isn't it Thursday?
Oh, crap. Finally! About time. Finally here. Let's go.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Coming off of a tough loss to Tennessee Tech at home, which featured 6 turnovers, RMU football was looking to rebound in a big way as they traveled to Cape Girardeau, Missouri to take on Southeast Missouri. The Colonials were 28-point underdogs and looking for their first conference win of the season. Could the Colonials pull off the shocking upset? We're about to find out. We're actually going to start things off in the fourth quarter with the Colonials surprisingly up 21-20, and they're in great position to score again and extend the lead. 7.5 minutes left, 3rd and goal from the 1. Zelkowski's going to take the snap, and he hands it off to Cyrus Bonzu. He plunges up the middle. It appears that he gets in. After the big pile breaks up, you see him there falling forward into the end zone, but the referee calls him short. It's now 4th and goal, but now they're from the half-yard line. Just under 7 minutes left. Same play, looking for a different result. Zelkowski to Bonzu, but he gets stuffed again. Ja'Cory Williams gets to Bonzu first and forces the turnover on downs. After that, RMU forces a turnover on downs, but then a 3-and-out forces them to punt, giving SEMO one more chance. George Souders' punt is fielded at the 21 by Dalen McDonald, and he returns it 15 yards up to the 36. Decent field position for SEMO, or it would have been if McDonald didn't hit his knee on the turf. SEMO starts their drive at the 21. Now, across midfield, 25 seconds left. Patrick Heider drops back. He gets pressured by Rob Carter Jr., who gets to the quarterback, looks like a sack at first, and now you may be wondering what the referees are congregating about. It looks like Heider got the ball out of his hands just before hitting the turf, but eventually the referee is going to drop a flag to the ground. He does right there, and he's going to call intentional grounding on Heider. A huge play with just seconds remaining. 15 seconds left. 4th and 19 for SEMO. This is essentially the ball game. From just beyond midfield, the Colonials are going to rush 4. Heider takes the snap and rolls to his left, trying to avoid pressure. He gets it off. If it's caught, it's a first down, but it's broken up by Shakespeare Lewis. The Colonials upset SEMO 21-20, helped by a huge day from Noah Robinson, their first road win since 2019.
Yeah, and what a big game that was. What a win for Coach Bernard Clark's school. And earlier I said Horizon League upset. It was the Big South upset. What a win for the Robert Morris Colonials. And now we're going to move on to another team that has been struggling this season. That is the women's volleyball team. They played Purdue Fort Wayne, and these two teams played earlier in the season. Colonials did not fare too well at all, got swept. The sets were not really close. Now later in the season, it's not really looking good for either of these teams. So now let's see, with not much to play for, let's see what happened in this one. Now this game was also senior day as the Colonials took on the Mastodons. You can see right here Carmody walking with her family. It would be her last day along with a few others. As we move into the first set, RMU's already up big, 8-1. The serve comes over. It's hard, it's fast, but this one's up to Emma Brown, straight down for the Colonials. They go up 9-1 in the first set. Emma Brown, their top hitter in the middle, and she had no doubts about that one. Now this one served over. Put up, saved by the Mastodons. And here we go, up again, tipped over. We've got ourselves a rally here. This one's blocked, and now it's back up, set by Katie Cook. That one is down, killed by Rosina Esposito. A long rally there. It was off the net and just drops right in the corner for the Colonials as they win the set. Now we're on to the second set here. Azra Eric, she serves it right over. This one's put up, kind of saved, and it's back over. That one's dug out by Carmody. This one's over, tipped. Another rally going on between these two. This one kept up again. Colonials looking for the kill. It's tipped, saved again by their libero around the net. It's a blocking foul by Katie Cook. And now again, another rally. That one's put down by the Mastodons, Panaratkai, and they would win that set. Now it's tied in the third set. RMU looking for one here. Here it goes up and blocked into the net. Hillary Adams from Ashley Wallen. And here we go again. Hillary Adams, Ashley Wallen, blocked by that one. Here we go. Ashley Wallen again to Hillary Adams. Again, tipped up and good for the Colonials on the set point. Colonials go up 2-1 in the match. Hillary Adams comes up big. We're up here now in the fourth set. RMU looking for the win, up big again. Over by the Mastodons. That one's tipped up. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Up to Hillary Adams for the kill, and the Colonials win that match 3-1.
Moving on to the ice now. After a series split on the road against Mercyhurst, the women's hockey team returned home to Clearview Arena for a 2-game set against the Syracuse Orange this past weekend, looking to build another winning streak. Just 12 games into the season, but the Colonials already have a winning streak of 3 games, and we're looking to do the same here. In game number 1, the Colonials came out on top 4-2. 36 saves from Allie Kelly was not enough to hold off the cavalry charge of Colonial shots. Morgan Giannone had 2 goals for RMU. She's up to 6 total on the season. Elena Giampietro and Shaylin Snow also saw shots go into the back of the net. Emma Gorski tallied 24 saves in the win.
Now we're going to move right on to the second game here. The Colonials would win this one as well. Fun fact about these two teams, it was the first matchup between these two since RMU beat the Orange in 2021 in the CHA tournament. Robert Morris would go to the NCAA tournament, and the program is back, and they still are beating the Syracuse Orange in this one. Gillian Thompson still around, and Colonials here winning this game. Their next game will be next Friday against RIT for their Fansgiving game.
Now, when we come back, we've got an announcement regarding the men's lacrosse team, and despite the soccer seasons being over, players are still tallying up awards. Stay tuned for that and more on CSC.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, you know, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something that can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now, before we get into that announcement, we're going to start off here with the rowing team's very last match of the season. They would travel down to Fairfax, Virginia for their very last session of the fall season. Let's get right on into it here. Rowing, here we go. Head of the Occoquan and Robert Morris finished 8th on that one in the 8+, which is 8 people on the team. 20 minutes almost on the dot, a +2 and 20-second difference against Georgetown, who had 2 teams up at the top for the 8+. And we move on here to the 4+ coming in for the Colonials. We will in just a second, but that one didn't really fit. Again, Colonials nearing towards the bottom. Though disappointing how the Georgetown 8+ had a... the Georgetown team was faster on the 4+ than the Robert Morris 8+. A little disappointing there for the Colonials, but you can see there, quite disappointing. This is the last team's match before they go back in the spring after some training, after some rest, and so you're not freezing while you're rowing out there.
Moving on to that announcement that was teased a little bit earlier, it was reported on Tuesday that the men's lacrosse team will be rejoining the NEC in 2025. So we've still got to wait a couple of years, Casey, but it's definitely something to look forward to. Now, Robert Morris has plenty of history with the NEC, being one of its founding members back in 1981. The Colonials were previously members of the NEC from 2011 to 2020 and found success, winning the regular season title in 2012, and they were back-to-back conference tournament champions in 2018-19. So the Colonials men's lacrosse team will be moving conferences and rejoining the NEC in 2025.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier for the team, because right now in the Atlantic Sun, they have to travel to places like Colorado to play Air Force, all the way out to Utah to play Utah. And now back again here, they'll just be playing teams in New York, Rhode Island, Maryland, all the way up to Philly. So the traveling will be much easier, which will help with their mindsets, help with their exhaustion, help with their fitness, and you can see the success they had in the conference before. It should be a good move for the Colonials.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And even though we're going to have to wait a couple of seasons for this to go through, I believe that it will be a good move in the end for the Colonials.
Yeah, and speaking of good moves, the RMU soccer teams had a lot of them. Solid seasons for both teams, ended in disappointing stuff, but it saw a few awards for both the men's and women's soccer teams. We're going to kick it off right with the men's soccer team and their awards. The team just barely missed the playoffs, but here you can see a few regular season awards. You had Anas Hadran, 3 goals, 4 assists, 10 points, 39 minutes. He made all Horizon League second team. You've got Gabe Norris, the captain. He was the Horizon League Sportsmanship Award winner. So you can see men's soccer didn't quite make the cut for the playoffs, but a solid season nonetheless with great participants. And now we move on to the women's, who had a disappointing loss in the semifinals of
They did have a disappointing loss to Milwaukee in the semifinals, swept by Milwaukee. Both times they played Milwaukee, they fell short. But still, overall, they finished 12-5-3, a big step up from their record last season. And both graduate students, they didn't want to leave without one last parting gift. So Christy Kanya and Karu Hayashi, both grad students, made the Horizon League All-Tournament team. Kanya played all 180 minutes in the Colonials' 2 games in the Horizon League tournament and posted a shot on goal. Hayashi posted a goal, 2 assists, and 3 shots on goal. Both were pivotal parts of the team throughout both the regular season and the playoffs, and they helped the soccer team on their journey to the conference tournament semifinals. Obviously, they came up a little bit short there, but still, that massive improvement and massive jump from last season was definitely a very good step forward for this team.
Hayashi also won the Sportsmanship Award, and she was on the first team for the Horizon League for women's soccer. And especially with the women's team, the improvement there was phenomenal. And if both teams can keep it up, men's, you will definitely see them in the Horizon League playoffs soon, and you will see both teams winning the Horizon League finals somewhat soon.
I agree. I think both could make the conference tournament semifinals next season, but we will have to find out. Now, if you want to keep up with all things Colonial Sports, be sure to check out colonialsportsnetwork.com. The student writers there provide all the sports content you'll need, including game previews, recaps, podcasts, feature stories, and more. Also, be sure to follow them on Twitter at RMU_CSN and on Instagram at Colonial Sports Network.
And when we come back here, I'm going to do something big. I'm going to promise you right now, you will see top 5 plays right here on Colonial Sports Center. So stick around right with us.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Casey, this is a big moment for you because you promised everyone top 5 plays, and I hope we get top 5 plays because there were some great ones this past week in Colonial Sports.
Sometimes it doesn't happen, so I had to promise. You all see top 5 plays, and they're starting right now. Let's get into it.
Top 5 plays. Number 5. We're going to go to the UPMC Event Center from earlier tonight, Point Park at RMU. Nazareth Fisher gets the rebound. He's going to pass it inside to Jamison Smith, who gets denied by Marquise Hastings. faked out Chris Ford, but Hastings channeling his inner Dikembe Mutombo and cleans up the spill.
The Dikembe Mutombo reference for Marquise Hastings. Oh my goodness. Let's move on to number 4 here. You're going to see the Robert Morris Colonial football team score points, and that's an Anthony Chickett pass all the way to Noah Robinson. Big 51-yard touchdown. You're finally seeing the points that let RMU win this big game. What a pass by Anthony Chickett. A perfect spiral, a perfect drop into the bucket for their top receiver, Noah Robinson, and he gets it in stride for the touchdown for the Colonials.
After a few weeks, it was really nice to see that again. Number 3, sticking with football, Colonials trailing 3rd and goal. Chickett rolls out, he's pressured, but he flips it up to Chase Jackson, who goes untouched into the end zone for the touchdown. Colonials would take a 21-20 lead after the PAT. Great job by Chickett there to get the ball out quickly to Jackson, despite the pressure coming, and he did take a big hit there.
Yeah, knowing he could have got killed, he still put it out and still got the Colonials the win. And now we're sticking with that game. It's early in the first quarter. Hyder's going to drop back to pass, but it's intercepted there. It is Seth Verilis. He's trying to get it around people. He can't quite get it. He falls down at the 10, but this is the one that set the tone for the Colonials. Hyder didn't even see him. Verilis, perfect anticipation to get it. He was trying his best to avoid the people shifting around like Le'Veon Bell, but couldn't quite get it.
Number 1, this one comes at you quick. Cintas Center, Stephon Walker drives the lane, and he baptizes Gidis Namiksha. What an unbelievable dunk from Stephon Walker. That is your number 1 play of the week.
That man is holy now from that baptized.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to go right on into top 5 plays.
No, we already did top 5 plays.
So I just got so excited.
I want to watch them again, Casey.
Dunk.
Listen, there were tons.
I could watch it over and over again.
Me too.
Let's watch what we're watching out for this week for our games to watch for Robert Morris. For me, let's go men's hockey against the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves. I couldn't even get it out because they're going to Alaska. For your information, that's a 10-hour flight and a 66-hour drive. My players to watch, Chad Veltri. He is incredible, leads the entire country. No one else in the United States of America has more saves in college hockey than Chad Veltri. And for the Seawolves, I'm going with Maximilian Helgelson. And he's got 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points in the season, leads the team. He's a hometown Alaska Anchorage kid who just wants to play some hockey and now finds himself against a team from Pittsburgh. So quite a wild time there for the Robert Morris Colonials men's hockey team.
Great game to watch there. Mine is the RMU volleyball regular season finale at Youngstown State tomorrow night, Friday at 6 p.m. Side note, there's a crew from Colonial Sports Network making the trip to Ohio for this game. Cam Macariola and Sam Goldberg will have some on-site content that you'll want to keep your eyes out for. Now, coming off of a senior day win over Purdue Fort Wayne, the Colonials, they have the momentum heading into this matchup. RMU player to watch, Hillary Adams. She is second on the team in kills with 229, and she has also tallied 54 digs this year. For Youngstown State, Abby Householder. She leads the team with 278 kills, averaging 2.5 kills per set and 290 digs, a massive number there. But I think the Colonials could take down Youngstown State on the road in their season finale. Casey, those were our games to watch. Now, I think we have to go back to basketball a little bit. We can't.
Do we want to?
Yes, we can't end this show without going back to the RMU basketball team. I know they did not have just the services of Justice Williams or Josh Corbin tonight. However, being down 10 in the second half to Point Park, I'm sure Andy Toole was a little bit heated in that postgame press conference. I wasn't there. Amir was. Definitely something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on throughout the season as they go through non-conference play and especially into Horizon League conference play. Hopefully those guys can stay healthy.
They're going to have to show they won it more, first off, because I wasn't sure if they won it.
I think they did. They showed they wanted it against Penn State in the exhibition. They showed they wanted it against Xavier.
Those two.
But here, I wasn't so sure.
I think it was a case of taking your opponent too lightly.
Maybe.
And as for a lot of the teams around the Pittsburgh area, both professional college, playing down a little bit to the competition, but they found their way back. It was a good comeback win in the end. They showed good grit to get the win.
Absolutely.
TJ Wainwright stepping up big, Hastings stepping up big. So in the end, a solid win, but one that should have been much better.
Agreed. Stephon Walker led the team with 16 rebounds. But Casey, that's going to do it here for this week's edition of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Kevin Plaucha, your Casey Irwine, and we will see you next week for another episode of Colonial Sports Center. Thursday night, 9:30. You'll want to tune in next week here on CS.